My MegaMart, best value by far. Get more with your membership card. Best value by far. Get my MegaMart, best value by far.
Hello, Mega family. Welcome back to the show. See, we're all decked out in pink for...
Pretty in pink
Yes.
today because it's Pinktober,
Indeed.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I've been seeing the color all over, everywhere, in
Yeah.
all the business places, and I'm so glad that we are all joining in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
As you can see, we even have our pink roses here, courtesy of Dulce Decor.
Yes, it's very
And I'm
nice.
so excited for today's episode as we will be diving a little bit more into breast cancer awareness. And we have a very special guest today.
We always have to bring on the experts when it
Of
comes to
course.
certain topics. And we're so excited about our guest today. I know her. I love when, like old friends come on set. We can give them a little MegaMart hospitality. So we're going to be doing that. And she's going to be talking about her product line sold here at the store as well.
Right?
And what did we do the last time, though? Let's give them a little quick...
Last
Recap.
episode, we spoke about our mega kitchen promotion.
It's mega.
Well, it's MegaMart. We do
Yeah.
everything mega because remember, you have a chance to win an entire kitchen set.
Microwave, fridge. And what else? What the last one?
A spanking new shiny stove.
Oh,
Come
how
on
could I
now.
forget? How could I forget?
Courtesy of ATL, and we're so excited for it. All you have to do is make your purchase in store at least $6,000.
Yeah.
And you're on your way to winning a brand new kitchen set for the Christmas.
And we went through a plethora of other sweepstakes and discounts that's happening to celebrate MegaMart's 25th anniversary.
Happening all month long.
Yes, go on the YouTube page, guys, and check out that episode if you haven't, so you can know what to do. Can't miss it out. But with that said, should we get into
into the meat of the matter.
Yeah.
Oh, please be reminded that we are actually filming in store and there are persons around shopping as usual. So it can get a little bit noisy from time to time. Just bear with us, please. And we're just gonna invite our guest on, so stay with us and we will be back in a few.
I'm Chef Samantha George, and I love to buy my tomatoes at MegaMart. I can always count on the quality and freshness of all their produce, and so can you. So you want quality and freshness all the time? Come and enjoy the MegaMart experience where you can get all these items and so much more. I'm Samantha George. See ya. And we are back, and I'm so excited to sit and chat with Dr. Chrisanne Simson Harley. She is the extrovert extraordinaire. Like, we were just vibing in the production room a while ago. She knows so much, and I just love her. She's not only an OBGYN, and she's also an owner of the product line Women's Touch.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
And we're just going to jump into a little bit of both, learn about the product, and also, more importantly, not even more importantly, in support, we're going to talk about breast cancer awareness. You're going to fill us in on the do's and don'ts, the stats, everything.
Right. So, you know, one of the things that a lot of Jamaicans don't realize is that breast cancer is actually the #1 cause of cancer in our Jamaican women. And, you know, men, it's such a myth that men don't get breast cancer, but men can also get breast cancer because they do have breast tissue. So it's something that we have to be aware of. And it is so important for women to get their yearly checkups. I can't reiterate. You know, breast cancer is one of those things that we can pick up early. We can screen for it, pick it up early, and potentially give curative treatment if we get it, if we catch it early, right?
Okay.
And, you know, that is the case with some other cancers, but mainly breast, you know, cervical as well. So, you know, it's so important for our ladies, you know, to really take their health in hand. You know, women have this thing that I don't really need to go in for a checkup if I'm not sick. but you don't have to be sick to go in for a yearly checkup, right? Because, and especially go into your general practitioner or your OBGYN. Women only think that they need to go to their OBGYN if they're going to do their pap smear. And I keep saying to my ladies, you are your entire body, you are not just below the waist, okay?
Okay.
So I am not just focused on what is below the waist, I'm focused on your entire health.
Right.
So I'm focused on your mental health, your emotional health, all of these things. So when we bring you in for your yearly checkup, we usually do like an entire check. So we check your heart, we check your breast, we check your tummy as well, and then we go on to do the pap smear if it is that you're a candidate for the pap smear, if you're over 21.
Right.
And a big myth is that, you know, women have to wait until they're sexually active to see a OBGYN.
Right.
Once you are a menstruating female, then it's really important for you to come in and get a checkup. So girls, as early ladies, once you have a daughter, a niece, a friend, encourage them once they start seeing the period, bring them in, let them get comfortable with doing the checkups, because we can pick up things from very early, and then we can help, you know, in terms of assisting, screening, awareness.
Okay. I don't know if you know what I'm going to ask you, but you said that breast cancer is the leading cancer in
Right.
females.
Yes. In Jamaican women.
In Jamaican
and
women.
worldwide at this point, yes.
What are some of the ages, like some of the youngest ages that you would have seen?
I have
getting
seen
younger now?
it in, you're right. So I have seen it in 20, a patient who was 26, right?
26.
And anecdotally, meaning from other colleagues,
Right.
I've heard of patients who were 21, 22. So it's such a misconception that, you know, women have to be 40 and above,
Right,
or
so-
you have to be old, 50 and 60 to get breast cancer. I personally have 2 close friends that were diagnosed at the age of 31. Right?
Okay.
So 31, and I had,
That's younger than us,
Yeah, so,
Sam.
I mean, we're talking about younger women, so it's really important for women to start to do their breast checks from very early. So we need to be teaching our girls what to look for, what to feel for. So every girl is supposed to know what her breast naturally looks like. Get in front of the mirror, hold up your hands every morning. You know, don't
Every
be shy
morning?
with yourself. Every morning.
Every
Get up and look. I
morning?
mean, as you shower, once you're showering, examine your breast, right?
I mean, I think I do
Can
that.
you-
I think I do that though. But I don't do it with the intention, like I'm feeling for a lump. I'm feeling for a lump. But, you know,
No, but you just want to check. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you will miss, right? And around the period, the breast tend to feel a little bit
Sore,
more
tender.
lumpy, and it's
Yeah.
more sore. So generally, the week of the period, yeah, you can avoid it because sometimes you might freak yourself out. But outside of the period, just make the habit of just looking, checking. But at least once every 3 months, you should check yourself,
so
right?
what's the anomaly that you're looking for? Because
So,
you know, you may feel
right.
like a lymph, like a
Right.
Swollen
because your
lymph
breasts have
node.
globules or
Right, so your breast
milk
have
ducts.
glands,
Right,
right? So
glands,
your breast has little glands, and those become way more pronounced around the period. So I say
Yeah.
around the time of the period,
Yeah, probably
no
not.
matter with the breast check.
Right.
But outside of
Freaking
that,
out.
you make sure that you use the flat of your hand, and you lift your hand, and you check the opposite breast. So if it is that you're using your right hand, you're checking the left breast.
Come, Sam, let's
Right,
go.
so you hold up your hand, you use the flat of your hand, and you press down against the breast, and you try and go in a clockwise way, right?
Okay,
So you go around because
this
we're
indecent
checking the
or
breast,
so-
right?
No, we're
So
demonstrating.
you're using the flat of the hand and you're pressing against your chest.
Okay.
And what you shouldn't feel is anything that feels like a red peas or a dumpling. Anything
very
that feels
hard.
like that, right? Very firm, you know, very hard. If it is that you're even not sure, so if you feel something and you're not sure, it's better that you go in and get that checked, right? You don't want to say, oh, it's nothing. Oh, it couldn't be me. Like, that could never happen to me. I don't have no family history. That's a
Right.
huge misconception as well. Women think they have to have a family history
Right.
to go in, you know, to have breast cancer.
Right.
A lot of people I've seen have no family history.
So with that said, what are some of the risks? What are some of the risk factors that we will be mindful of that you know that could predispose us to breast cancer?
So, you know, most of the risk factors, one, genetics, of
Family
course.
history,
If it is that women go a long time actually without having children, so women who have no children, especially up to the age of menopause, they are more prone. Or if they only have one child.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I know.
Oh no, I need to get started.
No, and it's not, this is no pressure. It's
not a
we're not
diagnosis.
saying, okay, you
It's
need to
just
have children.
very spectrum. It's
But
a
because
spectrum.
we do see women that have, 5 children, 6 children. But I mean, yes, there is a spectrum. It is thought
It just
that
it
women,
may increase the risk.
right, it
Right.
increases the risk slightly. But a lot of women, we can't actually pick up like specific risk factors. We know that women who are more obese, right? Women who have issues like diabetes, hypertension, a lot of those lifestyle illnesses that create a lot of inflammation and those inflammatory kind of conditions,
Right.
they just tend to be more prone to cancers overall. So it's really
Understood.
important for a woman to try and maintain like a healthier body weight and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because fat cells actually produce more estrogen, which is female hormone, and those impact the breast as well as the uterus.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
definitely want to maintain a healthier body weight and stay physically active. So those are some of the risk
I
factors.
tend to get geeky. Is it estrogen that feeds the cancer, right? Or
Yes, so some of them especially respond to estrogen. So,
Right.
those are the things that we have to consider when
yeah.
we're looking at the risk
And then there's the
factors.
usual smoking, I hear.
Right, so
and, like,
smoking,
chemicals.
alcohol, so if you have a lot of chemical exposure as well, those increases your risk. But generally, we find that yes, there's a strong genetic predisposition, but some women, we can't pinpoint, some of those risk factors.
Is there a specific DNA test that we can do in Jamaica that
Right.
can show us our where we fall?
Risk factors, right. So there is a genetic, there's a marker, we call it the BRCA1 gene or 2. And we do find that those women that have it, those are the women that tend to have a familial predisposition. So mommy would have had it,
Yeah.
sisters would have had it. They need to be tested. So once it is that 1 or 2 people in your family, so first degree relative, mother or sister has breast cancer, it would behoove you as a woman to get tested for it.
Right.
Because women with that predisposition, they're also predisposed to ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
So, you definitely want to get that checked. And you can just go in and actually do the genetic test if you want. If you have the money to do it, why not, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so
What about
it's
the
something-
mammogram? No, I'm afraid of that one day. That one,
I think a lot of persons are afraid
I
of
heard
doing
horror
these
stories.
Right.
tests.
So a lot of women are quite fearful of the mammogram. And the mammogram is very quick, very straightforward, and it's not as painful as people think. So it's the same thing when people come in for the pap smear, and like I'm finished, and they're just like, Doc, you're not going to my pap smear. And I say, I already do your pap smear. And them say, so go on, be afraid of. There is no need to be afraid. It's very quick. Like you're talking about seconds quick, right?
Squeezing your
So-
breast into a pancake. Yeah. How does that sound?
The reality is most of the anxiety that we have, the fear is actually worse than the event itself.
Okay.
And it's very fast. And a lot of times you have other screening tools. So you have like 2D, 3D scans
Yeah.
that are available in Jamaica
Right.
that is not as
Oppressive.
uncomfortable as the mammogram, but it's very fast. And
Yeah.
by the time you're saying, oh my gosh, this is uncomfortable, it's over.
It's over.
Right? But that screening can save your life because
So they
a
do
lot
that-
of women have no symptoms.
Oh.
Right? So there will be no symptoms. It's not like you're going to feel pain in the breast.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, breast cancer actually presents on screening, not necessarily feeling a lump. Because
Okay.
feeling a lump, potentially, it might have already spread.
Progressed to like a-
right.
yeah.
Right.
So that screening tool, especially once you get to the age of 40, you should have a mammogram done every year. And it's
Oh,
such a
every
myth
year.
that
Okay.
if you do mammograms every year, it's going to predispose you to cancer. That's not true. It's just that it increases the likelihood of picking up that cancer early.
Okay.
Oh.
Question though, I know that we've been speaking a lot about women because we're the ones with the
Right.
breast. But what about the men? How do we screen the men?
Right. So fortunately for men, because they don't have as much fat tissue in the breast area,
Okay.
theirs tend to present very early,
Yeah.
obviously.
Okay.
And we don't necessarily screen for them because breast cancer is
It's
not
rare.
number one
Yeah,
in
for
there.
them.
Right.
Okay.
So prostate would be, of course, top of the list. So they
Right.
have to screen for that.
Yeah.
Right? And if they present with a lump, it tends to be very obvious, very fast.
Okay.
Right? Unless the patient is very heavily overweight, where it can be hidden, but generally presents quickly with a lump. But
Okay.
fortunately, it's not as common.
But you said that when the lump presents, when there's presentation of the lump, that means the disease would have progressed.
Not all the time, It
Okay.
may. it may have
Because
progressed.
I just got a little
Right.
bit worried for the men. I said, oh my God.
Yes,
Stage
it
4.
It may have progressed. One of the challenges we have with our men is that men aren't naturally health seeking.
Yeah,
So
that's
whereas women tend to come into their physicians, regularly, yearly, if our fingernail are hurt to it, if our ears are hurt to it, no, men will have discomfort for a longer period of time and not present to the doctor. And we need to encourage the men around us to definitely do their screening as well. Once a year, just go in and get their checks done because we shouldn't have men in this day and age still dying from prostate cancer, still having those challenges, right?
Yeah.
Because it's something that you can pick up pretty early and give them curative treatment, right? So, we want to make sure that the men are checking themselves as well, examining not just the breast but the testicles and so on, and going and get their checks once a year because the doctors will examine them as well.
I have a burning question.
Yes. tell
What
me.
are the success rates? We know as a
Burning
humanity, we tend to focus on the negative. I have a cousin that survived breast cancer, and there are several people, but you don't hear, people don't talk about it.
People don't talk
when
about
they
it.
beat it, they don't put it on social media. So when you hear the diagnosis, you immediately think, I'm gonna die.
Right.
Give me a perspective on that.
You're actually looking at, especially with people who have been screened, you're looking at success rates of over 85%.
Oh.
Especially if it's caught early.
Yeah,
Right.
that's nice.
Right. So if it's caught early and managed in an efficient way, and that's where our health system come into play, but you also have to be aggressive about your health. You can't necessarily wait and say, oh, I'm going to wait until they call me for my appointment. Check, when is my next appointment? Can I get an appointment? Things like that in terms of your treatment.
Right.
Those things matter. But what we find is that if it is that we catch the disease early, the cost for cure is much less. So for example, a woman that is found in stage 1 will potentially spend, if she's looking private care, you can spend anywhere from 1 to maybe maximum 5 million for treatment versus a woman at stage 3 that's spending 15 to 80 million Jamaican dollars
That's how
for that
expensive the
same
treatment is?
Yes. So cancer treatments. So some women, remember you're thinking, a lot of women that we find it, treatments sometimes has to be surgical. So you have to consider, and I'm talking about private care. Remember in the government system, a lot of that care is free.
It's free, right.
Fortunately, right? But if you are looking fully privately, it's still, that cost is 1/3, sometimes a quarter of the cost if we pick up the disease early versus late. And that happens with every disease. If you pick it up early, when them say prevention better than cure. But one
Or
of those
stitching
things,
time
yes.
saves 9,
Yes, the
especially with the money.
screening, really important. That's why we're so aggressive about breast cancer awareness. Because if we pick it up early, we can definitely do a lot more to help.
Okay, you
Yeah.
hear that, ladies? Screen as early as possible, right?
Right, so we start at age 40, but check yourself
Check
as
yourself
early as
as
possible.
possible, right?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you before we get into that. We had mentioned that estrogen plays a very big role in breast cancer, and I know that a lot of us are using our contraceptives, and that
Right.
has estrogen.
Right.
Do you know if there is any correlation between? You know,
Right, so a lot of studies, because a lot of people were having that mixed feeling. If it is that I go on a oral contraceptive, if that increases the risk, there haven't been any studies to show that intermittent use of a contraceptive will actually cause an increased risk in breast cancer. As a matter of fact, it is found that a lot of the contraceptives are protective in terms of like ovarian cancer and uterine cancer. But if a woman uses a estrogen-based, especially if it's a high dose contraceptive for a very long period of time, you're talking about 15 years, 20 years, and it is unopposed, meaning that she doesn't come off it at any point, well, that you have to consider that risk increases because she's getting estrogen all the time. There's no break. So there's no break with pregnancy or anything like that. She has no break. That potentially increases the risk, but they're still doing a lot of studies where that is concerned.
which is why
Right.
having more than one children
Child,
can,
can actually
got you.
help with that because you get a balance of progesterone, which is a mix as well. And a lot of the contraceptives actually have two hormones that balance each other. And the contraceptives that we tend to use
In
tend to be
Jamaica?
much lower
in the estrogen,
right.
concentration.
Yes.
Great.
And I guess that would flow over into diet as well.
Right. So it's
Eating
so
lower
important.
estrogen foods,
Right. So
less
I
plastic
mean,
around,
Right.
and
So
all that that stuff.
What we try to encourage is first a woman having a healthier body weight. So eating just more natural foods. I mean, we're blessed to live in Jamaica where we have our yam and our banana and our fruits. There's always some fruit in season, but I find that we tend not to avail ourselves of the fruits and the vegetables that we have available. It's just, and I know, like,
the economy, the cost.
oh,
and it's-
no. I once asked a patient this, what is the cost for fast food versus simple vegetables like your pak chow, your kalolo, things like that, where if you actually make the comparison, you can get more of versus one fast food meal. So you have to just decide what is better for you and recognize that your intrinsic value is priceless and then feed that. Okay?
Okay, it's a good point to make. It's just easier, you know, but MegaMart has so many different varieties of
I mean,
produce
come
that you can
on,
choose from
right.
if you want, you know, if we're thinking
Right.
about
Yeah.
seriously considering going on that healthier journey.
Yeah.
We
Right.
are here for you.
Right.
Right. So, one more thing I wanted you to touch on in terms of, you would have seen a lot of patients who would have gone
Been
through,
diagnosed,
right?
yeah.
How important is it for like support? Where can they get, if suppose they don't have family members, where can they get this form of support from to, you know, help them through their journey?
Right, and so the village is big. The village should not just include family members. The village is work, you know, it's whether you're, you know, at work, school, all of everybody around, you know, should have that personal sense of care and love, you know, to rally when somebody is going through this. You know, just a support, you know, a little note to say, you know, thinking of you, how are you managing? Do you need help in any other way? You know, those kind of things are important. I know you have the Jamaica Cancer Society, which, you know, provides tools and provides support as well. And you do have a lot of groups, whether virtual and otherwise, that are also support groups.
Right.
You know, for our ladies, you know, going through this. But each of us should, if we know somebody that have been diagnosed, you know, it's our personal responsibility to, you know, even by support by prayer, right? It's something simple, you know, we should all, you know, be our brother's keeper and support those around us that's, you know, struggling with this disease.
Okay, so there we have it. The village is us.
Yes.
The support is us. And like I was saying earlier, I've been into many different businesses and I'm seeing the love with the
Right.
pink balloons
Right.
and the pins and
Yes.
everything, and I'm just so happy that we see the need to support, especially considering now that
Right.
we're learning that is the
And not
major
just in October.
and not just in
All year
October.
round. We
Right,
should
right.
support all year round.
Right.
yes.
So thank you so much for the support, and I know that us learning more about the condition and learning more about, you know, the intricacies of it and where we can go to get help and what we need to get done to prevent certain things will be very helpful to everyone in general.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we're going to do when we return, we're going to be looking at the Women's Touch line of feminine products. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how Dr. Harley has been so helpful in, you know, taking care of us ladies. We'll be right back.
Shop and win a mega kitchen from MegaMart. Spend $6,000 or more before GCT at any MegaMart location and fill out the entry form provided for a chance to win a brand new stove, fridge, and microwave this Christmas from Appliance Traders Limited. Visit us on social media to win monthly prizes courtesy of Lasco, Grace Foods, and Facey Commodity Company Limited. Promotion runs from September 30 to December 6th. Shop now to win a mega kitchen from MegaMart. The best value by far. Conditions apply. Must be 18 years or older to enter. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
So, Dr. Harley, we just delved right into the breast cancer conversation, and we didn't even speak a little bit about you, get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
Your journey into obstetrics and gynecology. How long have you been?
So I've
in
been a
this
doctor
field?
for almost 21 years.
Okay.
You know, and, you know, growing up, I had really bad periods. And, you know, I was diagnosed with endometriosis and I was also diagnosed with PCOS. And I really think that that really started me on the road towards, you know, helping in women's health. I was naturally drawn to it.
Okay.
Right? And I found that it's definitely a love for me. I love interacting with my ladies. I mean, delivering babies is my thing. I can do that all day, every day.
okay.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it is something that has driven me for a long time, my love for it. And I found that a lot of the things we use as women are not made necessarily by women and are not necessarily healthy for us. And I definitely saw that in my practice. And I personally had struggles with using some of the products that were on the market because a lot of them have chemicals and create irritation. And I'm constantly seeing patients that's coming in from the reactions from the irritation, the constant yeast infections and things like that. And I said, no, I need to make something that is healthier for myself. I was actually just thinking about myself initially. And then, you know, that's how Woman's Touch was born. And, you know, it's been such a blessing, you know, to see people's reaction to it. You know, God is good and it has grown. And it's here in MegaMart, right? It's right on the shelf. And you know, the Woman's Touch is cotton, right? So the lining is cotton, it's unbleached. There are no chemicals involved in the processing because, as I said, we want to create healthier products for our ladies.
So what's the cleaning process though when you have the cotton? Or
Right,
just
so
heat?
cotton, right, so it's just heat pressed, right? And then Woman's Touch actually has a breathable backing, so you get a lot of airflow, which reduces the risk of infection, and it's also super absorbent. And people always think that you need a big bulky pad to be super absorbent. You just need, so people are used to, you know, the Pampers kind of feel, and those days are over. Studies have shown that, you know, a thinner pad with super absorbency actually creates a much better effect. So you want something that's absorbent and you're not getting backflow back at you. You know, you don't want it to be uncomfortable and wet. So all of those things are important to us as women. Right. So that's how, you know, Woman's Touch is created with all of those things in mind. And then our flow changes. So, you know, it starts off light and then it gets heavier. And then, so that's how the multi-pack was born.
I didn't
that is
even
actually
know
pretty
that this was a thing.
ingenious.
It says 4 different lengths.
Right.
And this
Plus it
just
has
makes
the
sense.
liners, right.
And the liners are in there.
Right, so
Yeah.
one box can actually carry you, for most women, can carry them through 2 periods.
Whoa,
Right,
wow.
so it's also cost effective as well because we have to consider our pocket.
Yeah.
We're trying to juggle the money, but we're trying to juggle our health at the same time.
Right.
So you want both. You want to be healthy, but you're not breaking the bank.
Right.
To be healthy.
I,
So,
you know, I talk about my husband a lot on the
Makes
show, and this is one thing, again, I just hear my husband, Sam, efficiency. Because I'm always running, like, I'm here, this here.
Yes.
Running to the pharmacy, grabbing. He's like,
Right.
why don't you get like one that
Something.
can last?
Yes, it's
Right.
a 40
For
count.
a couple
Right,
months.
and
40
the men
count.
find it easier to pick up because it's cute.
Yes,
right?
the
So, you know, they
packaging
know what
is-
the packet, right.
And then there's also the maternity pads.
Right,
I didn't
so
know that you
mothers
had one of these
embrace.
as well.
Right, so also super absorbent without being bulky.
We should show
So-
the camera saw it, right?
Yes,
Right,
they
so-
saw
Yes,
it.
very
Yeah,
pretty.
so
I
we
love the
have-
black and the
Right.
It's very attractive.
Right.
Yeah.
Doc, I want to say thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We
No problem.
really needed that education on breast cancer.
Yeah.
And then also just continuously looking out for us ladies, making sure that
Yeah.
we are okay, because we know that as it concerns our reproductive
system.
organs,
Yeah.
you know, it can get a little bit difficult for us. So I want to
Those
thank
are
you so
managing.
much for your years of service and dedication to helping women
Yeah.
all around.
But how can we
problem.
stay in touch with you to learn about the new products that you may come up with? Because trust me, I
Right.
want more from you.
Right, so we
Like,
also do the
my
wipes.
aunties
We have
start
wipes.
like you.
We're going to do period panties. So the plan is to extend the range. We already did wipes, and we also have a feminine wash. So it's not a douche because, you know, douching is unnecessary.
Yeah.
You don't need to douche, but women who especially need to balance their pH and so, we have the feminine wash.
Okay.
And then what we are also heavily involved in is period poverty, and I know MegaMart is a huge supporter of that. You know, where, you know, when women buy products, you know, they get, you know, to donate additional products, and
Right.
MegaMart is, you know, heavily involved in that, and I'm so, you know, happy to be a part of that.
Tell us where
Right.
we can find you. We're almost out of time.
Yeah,
Where can
so
we find
Get
you?
Woman's Touch is our website, so you can actually find us online. You can find us in a lot of the stores across Jamaica, stores, supermarkets, pharmacies, wholesales. We're pretty much in
Pretty much
most
everywhere.
locations,
Right, okay.
right? And you can also find us online, so Instagram, Facebook, and as I said, our
What
website,
is the handle?
Get Woman's Touch.
Get
So
Woman's
once you
Touch.
put in Get Woman's Touch, you'll find us.
Okay, and remember to follow us at MegaMart on all socials. It's at MegaMart JA. And also remember that our Mega Kitchen promotion is happening right now, and it spans all the way until December, where you can purchase anything anything from MegaMart. Your purchase has to be $6,000 or more, and you can be entered to win a brand new kitchen set courtesy of ATL. Also, remember, we have monthly prizes and giveaways courtesy of other sponsors like Lasco and Grace and Facey Commodities. So there's so many exciting things happening here at MegaMart from now until December, and you do not want to miss out. And with that, we have come to the end of the episode.
Yes.
This was a delightful chat. We learned so much, and we're gonna use our knowledge for the greater good. See you next time.